should walk you home.
Anyone walking through the neighborhood I live in. So walk away. I'm walking. You keep following me, sir.
All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to the Akim pushing this truth in sincerity, bahasham, rawchaa, qadash. As you can see, Esau Edom has a perpetual hatred, okay, towards you Jakes, man, towards you Israelites, and the true Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, and, in the video, he told him basically, you don't belong here. You don't belong in this neighborhood. And matter of fact, I saw another video yesterday. This Jake was walking outside his home, and he had a nice home, and basically a cop stopped and said, what are you doing walking around these people's lawn? And he's like, what are you talking about? This is my house. So as you can see, these Edomites, they have a perpetual hatred, and they are the racist. They are the ones who don't want to see you living good, following the commandments, coming back to, the Hebrew God, of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They don't want to see that. Why? Because they have no parts to do with the Most High, and they portray it in their actions time and time again. Okay, because they are crafty, they're deceitful, and to them, as the scriptures say, what profited, if they pray to the Most High. The Most High is in none of their thoughts, and you can tell by their actions. Okay, forget about what they say. Their actions prove that they do not follow the scriptures, that they are not brothers. We are not all one, as they say, and you see it. Here's 2021, and you still got these Edomites pushing Jake around, telling him you don't belong here, get out of here, and they think they can get away with these things. But it's interesting enough, man. Let's watch this video. This is the house of that same Edomite neighborhood.
Overnight, a protest breaking out at the home of a Fort Jackson soldier who was caught on video harassing and assaulting a black man walking in his South Carolina neighborhood. Angry community members surrounded the home of Jonathan Pentland in a peaceful protest, but it's reported the protest did become violent as the night wore on. Jonathan Pentland was charged with assault and battery in the 3rd degree after a confrontation in Columbia, South Carolina turned physical. A video of the assault began circulating on social media on Monday, where Pentland is seen confronting the victim on the sidewalk and instructing him to move away, pushing him after he refuses. It has been confirmed that Pentland is actively serving in the U.S. Army and is assigned to Fort Jackson. His commanding general has been briefed in this incident, and they are fully cooperating with law enforcement.
So, where's Esau now? Okay, here it is. Jake show up at your door deep. Where you at now? Look at this picture. It says how it started, how it's going. So he ain't talking too tough now, right? Here it is. There was a time where, Edomites would show up at your front lawn deep. You know what I'm saying? And they would take you out your house. They would lynch you. They would burn you. They would tar and feather you. They would humiliate you. They'll strip you naked and beat you up and all these different things. But look at what is happening through the spirit. Look at what's going on. These curses are being lifted and they're being put upon our enemies. Okay, and two nations have been separated. Okay, and one shall be stronger than the other. Here it is. This guy thinks he's big shit, but in reality, Jake will pull your car quick, man, and show up at your door deep. And what are you going to do about it? And that day is coming. That day's coming. The scriptures speak about uprising of the Israelites. And moreover, out of those Israelites, there's an elect that the Lord's going to be with them and going to put power. Is going to give them power to basically fight. you know, and subdue the nations, you know, because, you know, Israel, we are God's. You know, we are the sons of the Most High, Yahawashi, and they have hidden this truth from us and put us in a dumbed down state. And they want to teach us the truth. They want to tell us what is righteousness. They want to tell us that God is white and the Israelites are white. And those are lies. Those are bold-faced lies. Okay? But this is how it started, and this is how it's going. You know, this is what happened afterwards. You got Jake showing up at your house deep, man. You know, and he wasn't outside. He wasn't talking all that tough stuff. You know, because the scriptures say one nation shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the youngers. And ultimately, they're going to be subdued, and they will serve the Israelites, man, hand and foot. Okay, but in righteousness, not like how they did us in complete wickedness. Okay, and they seem to have forgotten. They seem to have forgotten what they did to us, how they fed our babies to alligators, how they sold our babies by the pound, like if they were fruit. Okay, they forget. Okay, that they have lived, okay, deliciously off the backs of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they continue, okay, to shoot us down in the streets. Okay, there's been 2 incidents in the news. You know, one in Chicago, and the other one I want to say Wisconsin. You know, where Jake's been getting shot down by police officers. You know, so you know what has changed. You know, they are accustomed to do evil. They cannot change. Okay, they cannot change. They will not change because they were created to be evil. They were created to be the wicked. You know, there's a protagonist and an antagonist in this story, in the story of life, in this saga, if you will. Okay, so let's get a couple scriptures, man, because, you know, the Lord's gonna put the spirit upon, you know, these Jakes, man, to basically rise up against, you know, these Edomites, you know, and out of them Jakes, there's gonna be an elect. Okay, there's going to be elect, is going to have spiritual power. Okay, you know, and they're going to subdue mightily through the spirit and power of Yahawashi. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 25. It says, Yahawah shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Okay, and he was pushed. He was pushed twice, you know, by his enemy, by Esau. Okay, and he was just like, man, I didn't do anything. You know what I mean? You know, because you know, man, you know, if you strike a Jake right now, I mean, if you strike an Edomite right now, man, these judges and these lawyers, they take it personally because you know they don't want you to lay hands on their people, but they can lay hands on you all day. But see, that's a curse that you have no power in your hand to fight back. You know, nowadays you get stopped by a police, man, and if you don't completely comply, man, you don't make it home. You get shot down. You know, because, you know, a man has pride too. A man not just gonna get, you know, sunned by just, you know, some cop in some damn Edomite in a suit. You see what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we have to agree with thine adversaries. But it says, Yahawah shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them, right? You go out to war against them and flee 7 ways before them, you know, and right now that protesting, that BLM, that looting, that rioting, and we know that there's agent provocateurs that are doing that, but Jake is also in the mix of that, you know, thinking that they're with them and they can hold hand in hand and there's going to be peace and they can protest their way out of this. But really, you show up, you know, you show up and really you disperse. You know, at the first sign of police or tear gas or whatever, you disperse, man. Okay, that's why we say protesting is not you know, that's not profitable. Okay, thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms on the earth. Right, and that's what happened to the Israelites. They were spread throughout all the earth. Okay, and they went into captivity in those nations, in those kingdoms, and they served. Okay, and even unto this day, we are here in America serving, okay, our oppressors. All right. So yeah, you know, but you know, when we're right with the Lord's with us and he fights our battles. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 7, and Deuteronomy is basically you know, speaks about curses that were put on the Israelites. If they, you know, it speaks about the blessing, but it speaks about the curses as well. You know, and the curses, we've read them and we've identified the fact through the Spirit that we are the Israelites. Now, if we only turn back to the Lord will bless us. Okay, and here's one of the blessings. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 7. Salakia. This is Deuteronomy 28:7. It says, Yahawah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. Right. So if we were only right with the Lord, our enemies would be smitten before our face. Okay, before us. You know, they would not be able to stand. They would come out against us and they would flee. You know, the Lord would put the Spirit upon us to subdue them. Okay, but right now we are under curses, but these curses, you know, they're getting lifted because, you know, back in times past, we couldn't even rise up. You couldn't even look at an Edomite in the face, in his eyes. Okay, because that was subject to get a punch or a slap, you know. And here it is. They talk about, you know, that they forget about slavery and, you know, let bygones be bygones and whatnot. But hey, you know, we couldn't even look at them in the face. Okay, it says Yahawah shall cause thine enemies that rise up against thee to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way and flee before thee 7 ways. And that's what would happen when a nation would rise up against Israel. They would come against them one way, but they would end up leaving 7 different ways. They would just scatter. Okay, but and this is coming to pass. It's coming, man. It's coming, man. You know, here it is. One time we would come against them and we would flee, but now, you know, Jake's showing up at your door. Jake's showing up at your door. So as you can see, it's spiritual. We take these things and we compare spiritual things with spiritual things, and we speak on it because the Heavenly Father, he's causing Jake to see. You know, Jake's starting to wake up, man, little by little, man. You know? Yeah. So, you know, I saw this photo and I was like, wow. You know, let me do something on this. Okay, this is how it started. He got smitten and then he left. He had to flee. Okay, but look at Jake. Jake showed up deep. You know what I'm saying? And now these Edomites are fleeing. So as you can see, you know, all this is prophecy. It's all coming to pass, and right before your eyes. Okay. But no matter how animated we get, no matter how much we illustrate what's going on, you know, our people, you know, they can't see, man. They can't see. You know. And just like this video said, man, you know, this soldier, you know, they got all these Jake showed up at his house, you know, so these curses are getting lifted. Let's get this. It says, Deuteronomy 37, and Yahawah thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. You see? The Lord, Yahawah bahasham, is putting all these curses upon our enemies, man. On those that hate us and those that persecute us. Here it is. You can't even walk through a nice neighborhood. You can't even own a house in a nice neighborhood because you got these Edomites telling you to get out. You know, get out of here. You know? But the time's coming. You know? Very soon. The Lord's going to put the Spirit and there's going to be a race war, man. This is Zechariah 9 and 13. This is when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim. Okay? And raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece. The Lord is going to raise up Judah and Israel against the Grecians. And the Grecians, this is figuratively speaking of, you know, Edomites. This is speaking about Edomites. They are the Greece. They are the sons of Greece. Okay? And, you know, because, you know, the Lord's going to, He's raising up Judah. That's why the majority of the heads of these camps, they're Judah, but yet you got a lot of Ephraim. You know, you got a lot of Israel. You got a lot of Northern Kingdom. You know, Latinos and you know, Native Americans in the camps too. Okay, the Lord's starting with raising up the tents of Judah, but He's filling it up with Ephraim. Okay, because Judah and Ephraim were pressed together. Okay, when I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. Okay, so the Lord's going to raise up, you know, Israelites against the sons of Greece. Okay, so it's going to be a race war, the Israelites versus the Edomites. You know, And this is what's going to come upon the last days. You already got people not regarding their kings and their princes. You already got police officers picking up their weapon against army officials, and so it's all confusion in this state, in this city, the city of America. It's all confusion, man. Here it is. You got army guys that they're not following protocol, when they're among civilians. Then you got police officers that are pepper spraying army officials and military officials. And that military guy who got maced, hey, that dude was a Jake, man. So you see, man. You see how these things are it's all confusion. And I think the other officer that maced that military guy, that Jake, I think he was a terror. They want to say he was Latino. I think he was a terror. They said he was a mestizo. He was a terror, man. It says, and Yahawah shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning. And Yahawah thy power shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. So the Lord, he's going to put the spirit. He's going to be in the midst of this, man. He's going to let this happen. He's going to let the uprising begin, because when these devils kick off their NWO, when they're trying to microchip everybody, the world's going to go into chaos. So you're going to have a lot of people that are not going to want to take that chip, so there will be an uprising, man. And in that uprising, you're going to see that Jake's going to just go crazy. They're going to lose it. They're going to just go after these Edomites, because they're going to start seeing, hey, wait a minute, man, they're the problem. Because these devils are going to unlift their mask. They're going to take their mask off, so to speak. Not that surgical mask for the COVID, but they're going to take that fake facade that they've been playing, that little role they've been playing. They're going to be coming straight out with it. They're going to come out with it and say, "We after you niggas, man, you spicks." I believe it. I believe they're going to come right forth out with it in those days, man. That they're NWO. Jake already smells it. There's something cooking, man. There's something's up with these Edomites. It says, and Yahawah shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and Yahawah thy power shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. Okay, and furthermore, out of them Jakes, out of that uprising, there's going to be men getting spiritual powers, man. While they're trying to fill these concentration camps, while the grid, the daughter collapses, and while the electricity and all the water cuts off, and this place becomes a wasteland, all hell's gonna break loose. And the Lord's gonna raise up men. He's gonna put he's gonna put power in men. Okay, I'm not talking about the regular Jakes that that are gonna rise. I'm talking about there's an elect. We speak about an election of our people that is going to make it, There's going to be elect of the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that the Lord's going to put the spirit upon, to actually, put all these kings and these princes and these Edomites, these elites, so-called elites, in chains. And, we're going to go around policing the earth and arresting them. The NWO is the scriptures say they're going to try to, as they try to fill their belly, the Lord's going to rain snares upon them. You see, so they're not going to fulfill that NWO. The Lord's going to stop them, okay, and then we're going to come into power. Lord willing, I myself is part of that number, but the Lord's going to put power upon the elect. It says, Yahawah of hosts shall defend them, okay? The Lord's going to be in the midst. And they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink and make a noise as through wine. Let's see what it says in the NLT. Let's check this out. It says, the Lord of heaven's armies will protect his people, and they will defeat their enemies with hurling great stones. They will shout in battle as though drunk with wine. You see? Now, you Edomites might have showed up in past times deep in our front lawn. You know what I'm saying? With your hoodies, and you're burning your crosses, with your burning houses and burning wood, and on your horses, the KKK and whatnot. But when the Lord put the spirit upon the elect, man, they're gonna make a noise as though drunk with wine. And when with Jake, when Judah, when these the Latinos and these Native Americans, when they get drunk, boy, we get loud. We get crunk, so to speak, and that's gonna scare the daylights out of you Edomites, man. Y'all gonna get scared in that day. You know, just like this army guy, man. Look, he was talking tough, right? But look at all these Jake showed up to his front door, man. He wasn't outside. You know, he wasn't telling you get up out of here. He wasn't saying all that stuff. You see? It says, and they shall be filled like bowls and as the corners of the altar. Okay, and Yahawah their power shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown lifted up as an ensign upon his land. Right? You know, the Lord's making up his jewels, man. You know, an election. You know, an election is going to get raised up. They're going to be as precious stones, precious in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, they're being purged, they're being corrected, they're being taught, okay, by this word, you know, and the Lord is preparing his bride. He's preparing, you know, that standard. It says, for they shall be as stones of a crown lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful and new wine the maids. You see, so the Lord's going to save his people, man. You know, but I just wanted to bring this out. You know, this is another installment of comparing spiritual things with spiritual things. You know, because I saw this and I was like, wow, you know, this is how it started and this is how it's going and this is how it's going to be for now on. Okay, there's gonna be a race war, man, and out of that race war, the Lord's gonna out of that race war, there's gonna be elect men, elect Israelites. They're gonna get powers, man. They're gonna be even putting 2/3 to death, man. Okay. The Lord's gonna make up his battle axe and weapons of war, man. You see? Okay. Just wanted to bring this out, Lord, when this was edifying. I want to say, Barak to Yahawah, Barak to Yahawashi, Barak to Yahawah, Barak to Yahawashi, Barak to Yahawah, Barak to Yahawashi. Call halal Yahawah bahasham Yahawashi, Hashem rawchaa qadash. All right, shalom to the 12 tribes. You know, all you Akim, you Akwathim out there. You know, continue in the faith. You know, continue praying, stay in the spirit. The Lord is with us. All right. Shalom.